Hey everybody. Some brilliant person made a comment on one of my other talking videos of why should I listen to anybody living in a hotel? Like living in a hotel makes me stupid? Okay. Ever hear of Howard Hughes? He was the wealthiest guy in the world back when $5 billion was a lot of money. Lived in a hotel for the last 30 years of his life. You know, living in a hotel doesn't make you stupid. That's not what stupid means. Stupid means you can't think. You know, like a Trump supporter, they've lost the ability to think. I've seen pictures of him worshiping this guy. Like he's Jesus. It's pathetic. Anyhow, how did I end up in a hotel? Oh, gee, Trump's last presidency, where I went for 4 years, not selling but one fucking motorcycle. That's how I ended up in a hotel. I've been in hotels ever since November of 2025. How did that happen? Well, my girl didn't like my landlord in my metal shop to the point where we gotta leave. You know, I can't stand it anymore. Happy wife, happy life. So at the end of the day, the only shop to move into was the brick building next door, which I didn't want to move into because, man, I told her, I said, that building's polluted. That guy's even a worse asshole. And sure enough, I got into it at $4,500 a month. After 4.5 years, he raised the rent to $8,500 a month. And I was under the Trump presidency with no income. I couldn't afford that in the middle of COVID. Yeah, so we got, after spending $300,000 remodeling that shop and making it beautiful, we got our dumbasses evicted. Just stayed in the metal building. But, oh well. Hindsight's always wonderful. I had a bad feeling about that shop. Nicest shop I've ever had. What a dream shop. Ended up being totally polluted, got me sick. And landlord was an asshole, raised the rent, I got evicted. Went from having a wonderful business to zero. Wow. So anyways, I finally landed in a hotel with enough parking that's safe enough for me to have my bikes outside. It took a while to get here. I've been here 3 years. My driver's license, everything's registered here. I'm considered a tenant now under California law. So, I have 3 vans. I have 3 trailers. I have a bunch of bikes. Where the fuck am I going to put them? Do you have any idea what rents are in the South Bay? I got to be in the South Bay to be able to sell this stuff. Okay, so if I rented a house that could handle all that, you're talking $6,500, $8,500 a month. Oh, a shop. Okay, well, what about a shop then? All right, well, that's going to start somewhere around $13,000 a month. I don't make that kind of money. Even if I had $1 million in my hand, I couldn't make that kind of money. I'm old. I can't work like that anymore. That's just life, you know? You can work fucking balls to the walls, 20s through early 50s, and all of a sudden, boom, you're old and you can't do it no more. I turned 63 in 2 weeks. So, and I almost died this year. So I'm lucky to be able to do even what I'm doing. You know, we're almost dying. You know, I'm doing okay. So let's look at the hotel. Why here? Well, they asked me not to say how much they charge. So I'm not going to say that. But of course I get a discount. All right. What else do I get? Oh, I get a free breakfast. I get free electricity. I get free water. I get free internet. I get free gym. Yeah? I get a free pool if I want. All right? Oh, that's right. There's cameras, there's security, and it's a fairly safe parking, you know? When you only one way in, only one out, and people don't generally steal stuff because they're going to get caught. So it's not as safe as I would like, of course not. You know, the bikes are exposed, they're outside, I got to put bike covers on them. But as the alternative is to do what? Oh yeah, not afford where I'm at, okay? Don't have the money right now, right? It is what it is. So in the Trump years, I had to save my eyesight. I got marginally blind, basically. I can only see straight. Got no peripheral vision. And my eyesight was down to a little pinhole. I could barely see someone's eyeball with aspheric lenses, with the entire lens of the motorcycle goggles I had made at $2,000 a fucking pop. I could barely see someone's eyeball 3 feet in front of me. I was almost blind. So I went, I hadn't smoked weed since I was 18. I had no idea where to get good stuff, if you could even get good stuff, or even what to call it. So in that experiment of maybe this will work, oh my God, because I'm desperate here, because I know I'm going blind, I started growing weed in-house in that big brick building. And that cost me $1 million. All right. There's a little guy called Steve Wynn. He's a billionaire. He owns casinos in Vegas, I think Macau, and I mean, it's stupid loaded. He's a billionaire. He's got the same eye problem I got. You know what he did? He gave $25 million to an eye center. He can't figure out what to do. He's a billionaire. All right. Being a billionaire doesn't mean you're smart. Being loaded with money doesn't mean you're smart. One of the smartest guys in the world, with an IQ of over 200, wrote a book of, gee, how come all these stupid smart people aren't stupid wealthy? And it came down to this, because they weren't born into money. That's what it takes to make money. Either you're stupid fucking lucky, or you were born into money. Oh, let's take a look at Jeff Bezos. Okay, he started his book selling business about 98. And his mom and daddy kicked down $150,000, and they kicked down another $250,000, and all his relatives invested. They all had fucking money. You gotta have money to invest. He didn't come from nothing. He wasn't a broke guy on the street with an idea, living in a garage. Okay? So any of you guys, you old guys, been around for a while? You ever remember Cycle Trader back in the day? How about 90, 91? Todd's Garage. I owned Cycle Trader back then. I had 100 bikes on the floor. 100 bikes on the floor in La Tuna Canyon in the dirt. And I was pushing more bikes than anybody else in Southern California. Boo. I've been up a few times. Why don't you look at the channel? It started in 2011. You can see my shop with all the bikes in the metal building. You go back to 2016, 17, 18. You can see the knuckleheads in the 10,000 square foot building. I've been up and down and up and down and up and down. All right? I'm down. I'm not a rich guy. But I'm surviving. Right? I've been doing this little flip a bike thing for 44 years this November. I survived because I'm stupid, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Whatever you want to think. But that's why I'm in a hotel, because I got evicted under the first Trump presidency. A man I voted for. That's the stupidest thing I've ever done in my life, was vote for that fool. I regretted that vote the minute I did it. I'm like, oh man, I just made a big mistake, didn't I? Yep, I sure did. I'm sure all those Trump supporters losing all their jobs and their homes and everything else are going, wow, maybe I made a big mistake. Ooh. Yeah, you did. So Vegas is collapsing. No tourists. No tourists. And all them fools voted for Trump. Ah, boy. All the good stuff that Biden did, like his Infrastructure Act, Trump's not doing all of it. Oh, well, so much for climate. Oh, well, I guess your kids and your grandkids are going to have a societal collapse. No food. See ya.